Hey, it's Les from the TV Dudes. This year, as part of our coverage of ATX Television Festival Season 8, I was lucky enough to sit down and chat with the creator and executive producer of Roswell, New Mexico, as well as several of the cast members. We talk with Carina Adly MacKenzie, Michael Vlamis, Lily Cowles, Heather Hemmens, Karan Oberoi, and Trevor St. I hope you enjoy.
So this is Les from the TV Dudes, and I am lucky enough to sit down with the cast of Roswell, New Mexico.
Woo!
Which I need to be clear about, because this is a reimagining of a previous show that a lot of people I know, I think a lot of us loved back in the day, and we're excited to see what could get done with it again. Do you mind each introducing yourselves?
Sure. I'm Michael Vlamis, and I play Michael Guerin.
I'm Karan Oberoi, and I play Noah Bracken.
I'm Carina Adly MacKenzie, and I created and wrote and developed the show.
I'm Heather Hemmens, and I play Maria DeLuca.
I'm Lily Cowles. I play Isabel Evans Bracken, maybe now Isabel just Evans. Is she going to cut out the... who knows?
Trevor St. Sergeant Jesse.
Carina, one of the questions I had for you, when going in to reimagine a show, we all have properties that we love that you're like, oh, if I ever got to do that I would love to take on that property again. What were your particular concerns and the goal you had? What do you wanted to bring out and what you might want to change?
Honestly, that's not how I felt.
Oh.
I was not stoked to take on something that I really loved, because I really loved it, and I was really nervous about how I didn't want to mess it up for anyone. And so the first conversations that we had about doing Roswell, we actually were thinking about, can we make it a sequel? Mm-hmm. So can we make it about, Max's son? He has a kid in the original series, and it's been 20 years. So, but when we realized how much of the original cast would not be available to do it, then I was like, we can't do it, because I won't do a show where it's like, well, we know Max and Liz got their happy ending 20 years ago, but now she's dead, guys. Right. and so then we started talking about doing a completely new reimagining, and in that version of it, I got excited about potentially being able to explore the things that I've always wanted to write about, the sort of the tough stuff, the race and politics and LGBTQ issues that I had danced on previously in my careers, but careers actually plural, but hadn't really gotten to get my hands dirty and do have the difficult conversations. And I wanted this show to be about the difficult conversations, the grown-up stuff, I guess.
For the actors, I'm always interested in when you knew in reading the page who this character was, and then on set in front of the camera, was there a mannerism, was there a line you got to say where it clicked for you? I know who this person is. This is the full roundedness of them.
I would say probably the first scene I ever shot in the show. First, I actually don't remember the order of how we shot it, but how I'm introduced in the show. I say masturbation. And I knew immediately that, this is up my alley, this character. Because he's just making, who says that? He says masturbating to his brother. He's a guy who has a good time. And I felt very relatable in that moment.
And you're very lonely.
We had to shoot it two ways, because the network told me that I couldn't put the word masturbate on TV. And so we also had to, he says, he's making fun of Max, he says he's staying home and masturbate to Russian moralistic literature. And then we also had to say getting off. Which might be worse. And then ultimately, that was the hill that I died on with the network. I was like, it's masturbate or nothing.
I think for me though, that line, it's so interesting for my character, because it just opens up. It introduces you immediately to, okay, what's this guy about? And he's in a jail cell. So it was the writing that led me to it.
And there's a great song playing.
Damn right.
It was a great intro.
It was cool.
I'm really amazed with what y'all done with the soundtrack on this.
So good.
Thank you. I write a lot of pleading letters to rock stars from my childhood, being like, "We're
They all
really
came
poor,
through,
but
though.
please give us your songs."
They all came through. All.
I think for Maria there was a clear switch, like from the pilot, and especially what I read in the audition was this very like woo-woo psychic. You know, she had all the bells and whistles of the character type of a psychic. And then I think after the pilot, we really whittled that down and made it much more realistic, made her a person instead of just the character. So Maria definitely had a kind of turnaround there that I've really enjoyed finding the groundedness in that. Yeah.
The side that I got when I auditioned, I thought actually expressed this amazing range of what Isabel was. The first side was me and Maria, and it's like this cat fight. Like they're just like, and she's so mean and icy, and she's just slaying her. She's just like, and I remember like, oh, okay, so she has this side, this like mean girl. She can just like tear someone down. She's so smart and funny, and like I loved that. And then the next side was her conversation with Max, where she's starting to realize that her brother's been in love with this person for 10 years and she didn't realize, and it flushed her out in this way that gave her so much more depth than just being like a mean girl, you know. And that's something that's easy to play, and we're like, oh yeah, she's the mean girl, she's like the bad girl, but she has so much love and depth and this desire to keep her family together. And I think written into it, I mean, the writers do such a phenomenal job of it, but there was this vulnerability that she had that I saw underneath this icy, you know, visage that she's been holding up, that it just created this whole really rich person under there. And I was like, oh, she uses that as a front because actually she's got so much under her. So I remember like seeing the sides, I was like, oh, okay, all right. She's like, this is a whole complex woman.
The moment when I think it was episode 3, but you come home from a really rough day, and you have like 1 second of like being yourself and just sort of letting the mask down, and then Noah comes in and you gotta put the mask back on. That for me was like, 1, I was like, there's Isabel, and 2, I was like, damn, Lily. And I knew we had what we needed with that character. It was, you know, she's a Stepford wife. She's a person, her life is a performance.
Yeah.
And whenever she gets a moment to stop the performance is when we see who she really is, and you can really feel it.
Yeah, honestly, it kind of makes me think of Annette Bening in American Beauty, finishing cleaning the house, shutting the curtains and cracking.
Yeah.
It's funny you should mention American Beauty because I think that the first thing I thought of when I read this, my character was the Chris Cooper character from American Beauty. You know, who's obviously conflicted. Is not what he appears, and I knew that from first reading. Is that this is not everything, you know, because he doesn't really get into much more than what he wants to have happen. But what's underlying all that stuff, I knew was there, and they had built that in, and they not revealed in the first season, but that it will be, and so I was able to relax in that this is not a one-dimensional guy.
Yeah,
On
what's
the
he taking
contrary,
down with this just
what's going on is a lot of history, and so I was able to just, you know, I could just let it be right now.
One of the things that I really appreciated about Trevor was we met for the first time, I think, in the makeup trailer when we were in Albuquerque shooting the pilot, and just our first conversation about the character. Trevor was not like, okay, when is he get redeemed? Is he going to be a good guy? Like, what's the redemption arc? Because there's a lot of irredeemable things about this man. But I'm really excited because in season 1, we see him very much through the lens of everyone else. And so he's really keeping all of his secrets. And in season 2, we get to go home with him a little bit, and we get to see the man behind the curtain a little. And I'm really excited for that.
I just started to hang on, man. The audition was different, and the character turned out to be different. So I just tried to just hold on to the wave because it was going in the direction. And when at the moment I thought something, it'd go that way, and it went that way. I was like, all right, I just got to go with like a ping pong, you know. I just tried to.
I felt like the character was really consistent the whole way through. He was like really committed to breakfast pastries.
All the time. He was good on that. Yeah, it was a good ride. I just tried to stay with, keep up with, everybody else. It was fantastic. So it was nice.
Carina, I read in an interview that you've given about working with Julie Plug and kind of one of the fun things about a writer's room is that you learning to write someone else's voice,
Mm-hmm.
or learning to write a different show's voice. When it came back to finding your own again, what were the signals for that? What did that mean for you when you read something and went, "That's me again"?
It was hard, honestly. I had written in, actually specifically Michael Narducci's voice, who was the first showrunner on the originals, whose voice was very different from mine. But I'm a good mimic, which is what makes you a good staff writer. And so I had written in that voice for 5 years, and every once in a while a character would come along that would talk like me, and that I could like really connect with, which actually is how I know Nathan Parsons, was because his character Jackson on the originals was my voice. And but when it came time to like write a new pilot, which was not this, but the final season of the originals, I really realized I was like, I don't know what my voice is anymore. I couldn't find it. And I ended up taking Aaron Sorkin's masterclass online. And I think the difference between like Michael Narducci's voice is like all the way over here, and Aaron Sorkin's is all the way over there, and mine fell somewhere in the middle, so I like finally found it. As far as this pilot, Michael in the jail cell ranting about, why can't you just go the speed limit, Michael? Why don't you spend your life like I do, at home masturbating Russian moralistic literature, Michael? That was where I ironically found I was like, all right, yeah, this is the show. And funnily enough, I don't even know that I wrote that line by myself. I think I wrote it with Eva McKenna, who's been part of the project since the beginning. But that was the moment that I was like, this is the show. And that's why I made them let us use the word masturbate on the show.
Heck yeah.
That's my voice. That's me,
it.
Mom. That's me.
I was watching iZombie, and they made a masturbation joke on iZombie, and I filmed it with my phone, and I sent it to the CW, and I was like,
Wow.
Yeah. There you
Yeah,
go.
precedent for sure.
yeah,
That's great.
they get to do it. I get to do it.
Do you have any lessons learned or things that you are taking in differently into season 2?
Yeah, it is now my second rodeo.
Yeehaw.
Yeah, I learned a lot from season 1. It was a lot harder. Not that I thought the job was going to be easy. I didn't think I was just going to collect a paycheck and coast on this, but it was a lot more, to be honest, a lot more emotionally taxing than I expected. And I think the biggest thing that I'm learning going into it is sort of protecting myself and protecting my mental health, while also making the show. Because these guys know there was weeks when I was not sleeping. I was at the end of my rope, and I was not my best version of myself for a lot of it. So I think by the end I really kind of figured out how to balance all of the work, because I love this stuff. I want to be there for everything. I want to choose every outfit and pick every sign that's in the background on the street, and eventually I'll die. I keep trying to do that. So yeah, I think really the lesson learned mostly was about me personally, because I think I'm really proud of the acting and the writing and the work on the show. The work has been really good from the very beginning. I don't want to change any of that. Except for Vlamis' posture.
My back hurts so bad right now, guys. It hurts so bad. So when I slouch, it feels so much better.
Teaching Vlamis to walk like a cowboy has been a...
I don't have great posture. I've got that Southside Chicago looking for a fight posture.
No, you don't have bad posture. You just don't have cowboy posture.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. I actually thought not having cowboy posture was bad posture. So this is nothing.
I'm just picturing the Nathan Lane bit from Birdcage.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I just didn't know he walked like that.
Yeah, it's no, that's dead on. I just didn't know he walked like that. Thank you all so much for taking some time today to talk to me about the show.
It was such a pleasure.
One last question. What's everybody binge watching right now?
I just finished Chernobyl. I like Chernobyl a lot.
Ooh.
I like Barry and Dead to Me.
Yes.
To me, it's so good.
So good.
I'm revisiting The Simpsons, which is just a childhood, my love of my life, and rewatching it, I'm just oh, my entire sensibility was created by this show.
Wow.
That's cool.
I just watched the Dodgers.
He's so much cooler than the rest of us. Every interview, I'm like, man.
Cheers for me. I watch all day, every morning. I watch a couple episodes of Cheers.
That's cute.
That's the show.
Aw.
I am binge watching The Society on Netflix,
Mhm.
which is super cool, and I highly recommend it.
I think it's the first time all weekend that I've had this many people at a table and nobody is in the middle of Fleabag.
My roommates are.
Julie is.
No,
right?
she's
Or
not,
she
because
finished it,
Fleabag
right?
Fleabag, you can watch the entire series in like 6 hours. So why would anyone ever be in the middle of it?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, why are you
Finish
I can't
it.
be in the middle of Fleabag. Stop it. I don't give a shit about this.
Go finish it.
The TV Dudes is an independently run podcast and a member of the Electric Sweater Podcast Network. We are exclusively listener supported. If you'd like to help us out, go to patreon.com/TVDudes. You can like us on Facebook and Twitter at TV Dudes. All the music for our show is by our friend and original TV dude, Gregory J. Amani Smith. To find out more about us, go to thetvdudes.com and electricsweater.com. I'm Grant Davis. Thanks for listening.